So again, just close your eyes, find yourself comfortable. And settle into your mat. And then go ahead and just notice different things around you. So with your eyes closed, because we want to pick up on our other senses right now. So just notice all the things around you in your space. So your space is unique to you right now. So just notice if you hear anything, if you feel anything, if you smell anything, as much as you can. Try not to react to any of it. Just allow it to come in onto your mat for you to notice. And just observe, be an observer. And then bring your awareness onto your mat. So where you're seated, feel the support underneath you. Feel how you're supported. Notice how it feels to sit in this position. And then if you have one leg in front of the other leg, change your position. Bring maybe the other leg in front. Just change it up just a little bit, just to notice. And you might notice that this feels so very, very different. It's okay. Adjust it again so it's somewhat comfortable. You might have to wiggle around a little bit. That's okay, me too. I don't like this side at all. And then place one hand on your heart and then another hand on your belly. So try to get in connection with the beating of your heart and yourself breathing. And you might not notice a beating of the heart yet until you become go a little bit deeper within. And you might not even notice yourself breathing. Don't change the breath, just begin to notice what's going on within you. As you bring more awareness in towards your body, going inwards a little bit more, you might now all of a sudden feel the beating of your heart. And perhaps now you're aware of yourself breathing. And allow that breath just to become a little bit deeper, a little bit slower, a little bit more expansive, I should say. And just maybe feel it moving in and around your lungs and behind your ribs. Maybe going deeper into the belly. Maybe in through the sides of the body. Maybe you can even notice the breath coming in and out through your back. Okay, allowing that breath to really expand now, getting deeper, maybe being aware of the heart beating even more. Maybe it's stronger now, you can feel that pulse. Maybe you can't. Don't worry if you can or you can't. I know you're all alive, you're there. See if you can, as you breathe, see if you can push against your hand that's at your belly. So as you inhale, the belly expands, pushing against your hand. And as you exhale, the belly goes inwards towards the spine. And your hand goes inwards a little bit. So feel that movement. Okay, and then on your next breath, raise your arms above your head. Giving yourself a nice stretch. Wiggle your fingers. Get into all those joints. Into the fingers. Move the wrists around in circles. You can bend into the elbow. Coming down and then moving back up. Moving the wrists around both directions. Wiggling the fingers. Again, getting into those elbows. Bringing the arms down. Getting into the shoulders. Keep getting those joints lubricated, fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, as you move yourself up and down. I'm going to do that one more time, bringing them up, and then bringing the arms all the way down. Okay, we're going to stretch out our legs, bringing our feet in front of us. Okay, and we're gonna flex our toes up. We're gonna keep a nice bend in the knees. So we're sitting up nice and tall here. Okay, we're gonna bring our arms out towards the sides. As we inhale, we're going to have the palms come up and we're gonna bring the arms all the way up to above our heads to touch. As we exhale, we're gonna bring those hands down towards our hearts. And then we're going to bring the arms all the way back up again, above our heads. Hands are still touching. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring the arms all the way down, pushing the air down. Okay, we'll do that again. Palms face up. Arms come up above our heads. Hands to touch. Exhale down towards our heart. Inhale, coming all the way back up again. And then exhale, bring the hands and push the air all the way down. Let's do that again. Palms come up, all the way up above our heads, hands to touch. Exhale, bring our hands towards our heart. Now this time as we inhale, we're gonna open up our arms as if we're offering something, and we're gonna push our hearts out forwards. Really bringing the arms back, lift up the chin, open up through the throat. On the exhale, round out the back, bringing the hands together in front of us. Good. And then on the inhale, bring those hands all the way up above our heads again. Our hands are still touching in prayer. And then exhale, open up the arms and push down the air, all the way down towards the ground. And we'll do that again. Inhale, lift the hands up, palms up, all the way above our heads. Hands to touch. Exhale those hands down towards our heart. Inhale, open up the arms like an offering, opening up our chests and our throats, lift the chin up. Exhale, round the back, bring the arms in front of us, tuck the chin. Hands to touch. And then inhale, lift back up. And then exhale, push all the way down. Push it all the way down. Good. And then just hold it here for a moment. Okay, we're gonna bring our toes up towards the sky as much as we can. Wiggle those toes. Spread them. And then squeeze them. Spread those toes. And then squeeze the toes. One more time. Spread the toes, stick them up. And then exhale, point the toes. So stretch out the tops of the feet. And then bring the toes back up, wiggle them around a little bit. Good. And then we're going to come onto our hands and knees. You might want your blanket again to be underneath the knees if you are on a solid surface, too solid. And we're gonna go into a child's pose. So the knees are open, toes are directly behind our heels, and we're just gonna soften the hips down. If you need to put something underneath, underneath the thighs or on the heel, you can do that. And then just bring yourself down. You can bring your fists together and just bring your forehead onto your fist. Or you can bring your forehead all the way down onto the ground. Relax your arms down. Okay? Bring your awareness again towards your breath. Just softening wherever you need to soften. If you feel that this is a struggle, adjust it until it feels somewhat good. Should feel a nice stretch through your back, maybe through your hips. We'll take a couple of breaths here. On your next breath, we're going to walk the hands up towards your knees, and then we're going to come into a tabletop. Okay, if you want to put the blanket underneath your knees again, that's perfectly fine. So we're going to come into a tabletop like as if we were crawling like a baby. We're going to have the toes directly behind the heels, spread out the fingers, wrists are directly underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. So you're going to try to connect with all 10 toes if possible. Okay, so nice and strong here. We're pushing the ground away. Connect with your breath again. We're going to try to have a nice long line through the neck if possible. So we're going to have the crown of the head reaching forwards. We're not lifting up the neck. Not yet anyway. Okay, and we're gonna think about sliding your shoulder blades away from each other, away from the center of the spine. So one shoulder blade's gonna go towards the right side, one shoulder blade's gonna go towards the left side, and you're pulling your belly button in and up. Okay, so now we're gonna move ourselves into a cow and a cat. So we're gonna drop the belly, open up through the chest, and then look up. So stretching out the neck. And then we're going to round out, pushing the ground away from us as we round out the back, pushing the back up towards the sky, pulling the belly button in for our cat. And we'll do that again 2 more times. Inhale, drop the belly. Looking up, stretching out the neck, the throat. And then exhale, rounding out the back, pushing the back up as high as possible. One more time. Inhale, drop the belly, looking up into our cow. And then exhale, rounding out the back into our cat. Okay, so then we're going to come back into a tabletop. Then we're going to move into a downward dog. So we're going to curl the toes under. We're going to push into those toes, and we're going to lift the hips up. Now, some of you might not be able to do that. We don't have to go up very high. We're just going to take a few breaths there. If that's too difficult for you, you can come onto your forearms and maybe just lift up the hips, or just stay here and then just move your hips maybe back and forth a little bit, and just see what you can do. Okay, it looks like mostly everyone can do it anyway, so perfect. So keep a nice healthy bend into the knees. Lift those sit bones up towards the sky. Okay, and then we're gonna come back down into our table. Keep the toes tucked under, pushing the ground away from us. You're going to take a breath in here. As you exhale, you're gonna look over your right shoulder, looking at that left foot. Now, don't force the movement. I can't see my right foot. And left foot might be a little bit trickier. You're going to try to look towards that right foot. I can't see it at all, so don't force it. And on your inhale, you're going to come back to center. On the exhale, we're going to twist towards the left side. So looking again, trying to see if you can see your left heel. This time, your left foot. And then inhale, come back to center. So we'll do that one more time on each side. twist towards the right side, trying to look at that right heel. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist towards the left side. And then inhale, come back to center. Okay, so then you're gonna walk your hands towards your knees. You're gonna come up onto the knees. Bring your hands onto your hips. And we're gonna take a step forward with the right foot. So if you need to put something underneath that left knee, put something underneath that left knee. Okay, so find your balance here. Equal weight between both feet. If it's too hard on the knee, then maybe you want to come up to standing. Okay, so if you're up to standing, making sure that the right foot, I'm going to mirror image you, that the right foot is forward and the left foot is back, but you're in line with your hips. Okay, and then you're going to bring your arms up. So find your balance there, wherever you are. So while you're standing here, being patient with yourself, maybe do a little check-in on your breath, the beating of your heart, how you're feeling. Excellent. And on your exhale, then bring your hands back down. You're going to bring your hands all the way back down. You're going to come back into your tabletop just for a moment. Then you're going to push back up onto your knees again, bringing your hands onto your hips. And then you're going to take your left foot and bring it forward. So if that being on your knee is not working, come up. So your left foot is forward. I'm mirroring you, and your right leg is back. And then you're going to find your balance there and bring your arms up. Again, do a check-in with yourself. Maybe even see how you're doing with your eyes closed and with your eyes open. Notice what's going on there. Checking in on your breath. Checking in on the beating of your heart. Noticing different sensations that are happening in the body. Okay. And then on your next breath, you're going to bring your hands back down again. You can come either into a child's pose or a downward dog. So whatever pose you're in, allow yourself to find some peace in that pose. So find a way to be at ease and content in that pose. So whether it's downward dog or child's pose. Okay? So if I'm in child's pose, find a way that I'm comfortable in this pose. If it's downward dog, find a way to be comfortable in that pose. Okay, on your next breath, you're going to, whoever isn't in downward dog, please get into downward dog, and you're going to just walk your hands and your feet together to come into a forward fold. So you might need to maybe rest your arms on your thighs, or you might want to dangle your arms here, or you might want to hold on to your elbows and just dangle your head. Okay, and then on your next breath, you're going to slowly bring yourself up, maybe walking your hands up your body. Until you're standing up nice and tall. And then bring those arms all the way up above your head, giving yourself a nice big stretch. Let's grab hold of that right wrist, and reach it up. I'm mirroring you. And we're gonna move over towards that left side. So stretching out that side of the body, like a little side bend here. And try not to force it. Root down through both feet. Try to get them equal in weight and balance. On your next inhalation, stretch yourself all the way up, grow a little taller. Grab hold of the other wrist, your left wrist, and you're going to move yourself over towards the right side. Just notice how it feels on this side of the body. Root down through both feet equally. Find some balance here. On your next inhalation, stretch yourself all the way up. And then bring the arms all the way back down again. Okay, so we're gonna bring our awareness in towards our toes. We're gonna try not to look at the toes or the feet at all. Try not to allow the knees to get locked. Press your feet into the ground equally. Standing up nice and tall, don't look at your feet. I know it's really difficult, but try not to look at your feet. Okay, so now try to press into your entire foot equally. Press into those toes. Press into the balls of the feet. Press into the outside edges of the feet. Then the inside edges of the feet. And then into the heel. And try to find some balance there. Who's holding their breath? Try to breathe. Try to maybe put a little smile on your lips. Don't get too serious over it. Okay? Okay, so press down through that entire foot. And then see if you can lift up your big toes. Don't look at your big toes. Just lift up your big toes. Find some balance. Don't fall over. Holding yourself up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders. Relax your face. Do you feel yourself tensing up in that jaw area? Maybe yawn a couple of times. Okay, now bring those big toes down. Press the big toes down and then see if you can lift up the little pinky toes. Not so easy. Sometimes the pinky fingers want to move too. And don't worry if they do, doesn't matter. Try to relax your faces though and your shoulders. We don't need any tension there. Trying to get that signal from the brain going all the way down. That's a long way down. And we don't usually do this very often. Okay, so release from the little toes now. Now see if you can push down your big toes and your little toes and bring the 3 middle toes up on both feet. Stretch them out. Sometimes you want to stretch out your fingers too. That's okay. Try to keep the weight distributed equally between both feet though. And breathe. Make sure you're breathing. Good. Okay, now bring all those 6 toes down. Find your balance there. Good. Now bring up all 10 toes. You're pushing into the ball of your foot now and the rest of your foot, your heel, the sides of your feet. Now, as you notice, when you lift up your toes, all of a sudden the arch in the bottom of your foot is going to lift up as well. Do everyone notice that? Okay, so keep that lift in the arch of the foot and bring the toes down in both feet. Keep the lift in the arch. Press into all 10 toes. So you're pressing into the toes, you're pressing into the ball of the foot, the sides of the feet, the heel, and the arch of the feet are both up. Now putting the weight a little bit more into the toes and into the ball of the foot, lift the heel up and see if we can balance here. Maybe you need to put your hands on your hips. Maybe you need to put your hands by your heart. But find a place where you can balance. Focus on what is going on, but at the same time, focus in front of you. Look in front of you. Find an object that's not moving and try to keep your balance here. Okay, and then slowly bring those heels down. Your arch should still be lifted. Okay, so now we're going to lift up the toes. All 10 toes are lifted. We still have that arch lifted. Now we're going to lean back a little bit. We're going to try to stay as upright as possible. See if you can lift up the ball of your foot too and just balance on your heels. If you rock back and forth, it's okay. It's okay. Try to relax your faces though, specifically in your mouths, your jaws. And then bring the ball of the feet down and then the toes down. We're going to do that one more time. So push into the toes, push into the ball of the foot, lift the heel up. Find a place where you can focus. That will help to keep your balance. Your knees can be as bent as you like. Try to relax your faces, pull in through your belly button, feel a nice strong core. Your core is from right underneath your rib cage all the way down into your hips, into your glutes. So make it that nice and strong. That will help you balance. And then lower the heels down. You're gonna lift up the toes, lift up the balls of the feet, and go right into the heels as much as possible within reason. Maybe you just can do one foot at a time. That's perfectly fine. Relax the shoulders, relax the face. See if you can find your balance here. And then bring your entire feet back into contact with the ground. Okay, so now we're gonna balance on one foot. So let's go into our tree pose. We're gonna move into the right side. I'm gonna mirror image you. So we're going into the right side, putting the weight into the right foot. And we're gonna take that left foot and we're just gonna bring it up. And we're going to bring it onto the top of the foot of the right foot. Okay, so we're gonna balance here, foot on foot. See if you can balance here. And then you're gonna move that foot. If you find balance here and it feels perfect for you, stay here. Or you can bring that foot maybe to the inside of your shin or your calf. You're gonna find some balance here. We're not going up any higher than that. If you want to, go ahead, but I think we're pretty fine staying here for now. And then you can branch out the arms, bringing the arms up. So I'm even falling out of it. And our fingers are the leaves. So we're gonna create some motion and some movement here. Focus on something that's not moving. Try to push down that big toe. That will create a little bit more stability. Okay, so now we're gonna make this into a fallen tree. So we're going to bring that left foot down onto the ball of the foot. And we're going to fall over to one side, making sure we have weight into both feet. One's on the ball of the foot, the other is full foot. And then we're gonna bend over to the other side like a fallen tree or a swaying tree, moving over. I mean, if you can do this on one foot, go for it. But you don't have to. It's moving from side to side. Moving with your breath, make sure you're breathing. Going nice and slow. And then the next time you come up, see if you can take that fallen limb and place it back up onto your supporting leg. Smile. And then bring that foot down, bring the arms down. Close the eyes for a moment and just be aware of all that's happened so far. Specifically in that tree pose, how that felt in your body. You notice anything with your breath or in any sensation that was happening in the joints? Just notice what you noticed. Okay, let's do the other side now. Let's bring our hands towards our heart and shift the weight into that left leg now. There's always going to be a little bit of a bend in that supporting leg. It does not, don't lock the knee, okay? And then just take that right foot and just place it on top of the other foot. And see if you can find some balance here. Focus on something that's not moving in front of you. Make sure you relax your shoulders, keep your chest open. Try to root down through that left foot, pushing that left big toe mound into the ground. Pull in through the belly button, create a nice strong core here. That'll help. Remember your glutes, your butt is part of your core. That will help to create some stability too if you engage just a little bit. Okay, and then you can stay here if you like, or you can take that right foot and maybe slide it up into the inside of your supporting leg. You want to go a little higher, go for it, but you don't have to. And just find yourself in a tree here. And then if you want to expand your arms up, your limbs of your tree, your fingers become leaves, and they can move around if you like, up to you. Again, trying to focus and just be here where you can be. Relaxing your jaw. Sometimes yawning helps to relax the jaw. You don't want to grit the teeth. And just be here. Okay, and then we're going to create a fallen tree. So if you want, you can keep your foot here if you like, or you can take that foot, that right foot, and just place it down onto the ball of the foot. And then we can side bend. Falling into the leg, into that limb, and then coming up. Notice when we're doing this, we're really using muscles in our core here, in the sides of the body. And then moving over onto the other side. Only going to where you can go. Don't try to struggle or force yourself to do something that you don't want to do. And I'm talking your physical body. Your mind has other things. Okay, and then we're going to go another time over towards the right side. And then bring yourself up. And then one more time over onto the other side. Nice and slow, taking your time. And then bring yourself all the way back up. And then see if you can take that fallen limb and bring it back up onto your supporting leg. See if you can stay here. Breathing. Maybe a little smile on your lips. You're going to be moving a little bit. That's energy moving around your body. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Okay, and then you're going to take that right foot and bring it down. Bring the arms down, close your eyes, and just take a moment, notice. Notice where you were struggling. And it's okay to struggle. It's really okay. That's how we discover things. And just noticing how we felt, maybe any emotions that came up, how the breath was, any sensations. Good. And then let's just shake a little bit. Shake whatever needs to be shaked. Wiggle those hips, wiggle those arms, wiggle those shoulders, maybe move the head a little bit from side to side. Good. And then come still a little bit and bring your feet a little bit wider. We're gonna go into I like this pose, but I think everyone should be able to do it, at least try to do it. It's a squat, malasana. So I'm gonna bring my arms all the way up above my head, hands to touch. And then bringing those hands down towards the heart, I'm going to start to move my hips down, bending into the knees, and bring myself slowly down. Now, I might be able to only get here, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe I can get a little bit further. Maybe I have to come up onto the balls of my feet. So you go to where you need to go. You might be able to come down right onto your full feet, but you just go where you can go. You might have to put your hands on the ground or hold on to a wall or a chair or something. That's perfectly fine. See where you can go without criticizing yourself. And then you're gonna plop yourself onto the ground. Sit with your legs stretched out in front of you. I'm gonna turn to the side here. So again, you can have your blanket, so you're gonna sit on so that you have a little bit of a tilt, so you can sit up a little bit taller. So your back is nice and strong and level. You're gonna have your toes facing up towards the ceiling. You're flexing, and see if you can spread out the toes here. Spreading out the toes as much as you can. You might be able to, you might not. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna squeeze the toes. So squeeze the toes in like as if you're squeezing something like a fist. Okay, and then again, spread out the toes. Lift those toes up towards the ceiling, spreading them out. We'll do that one more time. Exhale, squeeze the toes in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Don't squeeze so much that you cut off any circulation or anything that's going on in your feet. So just make sure that you're being kind to yourself. Number one rule. Okay, and then one more time, spread out those toes. So you can send that big toe one direction and the little toes in the other direction. Good, and then relax them. Okay, so we're gonna still have the toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Bring the arms all the way up. Sitting up as tall as you can, pull in through the belly, and then we're gonna just lean ourselves forward. So we have a perfect little place to bend from. It's right where the hip and the thigh connect. Right there in your hip flexor, that's where you're going to bend, not in the back, okay? So we're just gonna lean ourselves forward. You might not get very far. Don't worry if you can or you can't. Don't worry about it. Okay, now you're going to round out. You're gonna just round out, bring the arms down to wherever's comfortable. Might be your thighs, might be your knees, your shins, maybe your toes, maybe the ground. And you're just gonna soften here. You might need to keep a little bit more of a bend in the knees. Might be a lot of something happening back in the hamstrings and the knees. So just be gentle there. Okay, take in a couple of breaths here. And then on your inhale, slowly walk yourself up. Okay, so you're gonna remove that blanket or whatever you were sitting on. You're gonna bend your knees. Okay, you're gonna bring your hands behind you. So your fingers are pointing towards your buttocks. Okay, and they're gonna be about the same. The hands or the wrists are gonna be underneath your shoulders as much as possible. You're gonna push into your hands, push into your feet, and you're gonna see if you can lift yourself up like a crab. It might not be very high, okay? So we're gonna take an inhale here, and we're gonna exhale, bring ourselves back down. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale to lift, squeeze your buttocks up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, lower yourself down. Just go to where you can go. You might only be an inch or 2 off the ground. Don't worry about it. One more time to lift. You can bring your head back if you want, and then exhale, bring yourself back. Okay, and then we're gonna come down onto our backs, keeping your knees bent. So you're on your backs, your knees are bent. And we're gonna just give ourselves a little hug to begin with. So bring your knees in towards your chest. You might hold on to the shins. You might have to hold on underneath the thighs. But give yourself a hug. If you want to bring your forehead up towards your knees, go ahead. You don't have to. And then bring your knees back down, or your feet back down. Keep your knees bent. And we're going to do a little half bridge. So pushing your feet into the ground, pushing your hands into the ground. We're going to inhale and just lift our hips up. So envision that there is something attached to your belly button that's pulling you up. Do not turn your head. Look up at the ceiling. Open up through your throat. Hold it here for a moment. And then exhale, bring your hips down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift up the hips, keep the throat open, look up at the ceiling. Just push the back of the head into the ground. Try to keep the knees over top of your ankles. And then exhale, bring your hips back down. One last time. Inhale to lift up. Inhale as much as you can here. And then slowly, when you're ready, exhale it all the way out as you bring your hips down. Good. Okay, we're going to extend that left leg out onto the ground. Take your right knee and see if you can hug it in towards your chest. If that isn't available to you, maybe bend that left knee, squeeze it in. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. So extend the right leg out, squeeze that left knee again in towards the chest. Maybe the right knee has to be a little bit bent. That's okay. And then we're going to bring both feet onto the ground, having those knees bent again. Moving the feet towards the edges of your mat. And we're just going to slowly go side to side, as if your legs were windshield wipers. Side to side, side to side. Nice and slow. And then the next time your knees are over towards the right side, you're just going to drop them down, making any adjustments that you need to make to get yourself comfortable. So that might mean you need to straighten or bend a leg or a knee. And then bring your arms into a T. So one arm's going towards the left side, right arm's going towards the right side. And then you can move your head in any direction that feels comfortable, left, right, or center. And just stay here for a moment, softening wherever you need to soften. On your next breath, move your head back to center if you moved your head. Bring your knees back up. And then move them over towards the left side and just drop them down again, adjusting however you need to adjust those legs to feel comfortable, to feel that you can soften in somewhat. And then again, you can move your head in any direction that feels comfortable in your own body. And we'll just take a few breaths here. On your next breath, you're going to bring your legs back up, your knees back up. Hold it here for a moment just to allow your body to readjust itself. And then extend your legs out. If you feel like you need to put something underneath your legs or your head or your shoulders, do that. And then you're just going to allow yourself to rest in Savasana, so resting pose. You can bring your arms maybe closer towards your body. You can bring your hands, maybe one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Wherever it feels comfortable for you, allow your eyes to gently close if they're not closed. And just totally give in to resting here. Allow the feet to flop. Feel yourself soften. Allow yourself to have some peace and quiet. peacefully bring your awareness to all that's around you. Allow your breath to deepen. Bring your awareness back towards your body. Maybe doing a little scan of the body, noticing how it's feeling. And then bring some movement back in, wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe your head from side to side. When you're ready, giving yourself a nice stretch. Reawakening. And then moving yourself over onto one side, cradling your head with your arm. Trying to keep your eyes as closed as you can. And then push yourself up into a seat. And if you need to sit on something, sit on something. So sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to bring one hand to our bellies, one hand to our heart. And again, feeling the beating of the heart, feeling the breath moving in and out of the body. Just feeling that movement. As you're watching your breath and you're observing the beating of your heart, you can feeling it. Just notice what the mind is doing at this moment, what other parts of the body are doing at this moment. The more we practice, the more we know what we are capable of, the more that we know that we can control our bodies. We can control what we do, what we say. We can choose. We're able to control our breath. When we can control our breath, that helps to control our heart rate, which helps to control our nervous system. And we have that control that helps us to either react or not react to certain circumstances. And the more we realize this, the more calmer we can become, because we can't control everything. There's some things around us in our environments that we have absolutely no control over, but we can control how we react. We can control to stay calm, to stay content, to stay at peace with what we have right now. Our healthy bodies, our loving families, and our peaceful homes. This gives us great comfort, especially at troubling times such as we're living in right now. And when we can acknowledge through our practice that we can be peaceful and calm, it really, really helps a lot. So just take a few more moments, just in the peace. On your next breath, release your arms, bring your arms all the way up, gathering any feelings, any peace, any love that you want to bring in within you, maybe some positive energy, always positive, and bring it inwards, in towards your heart. Holding it in there, bringing your hands towards your heart. So in prayer, bow your head. And just take a few moments to reflect on your practice today. If there's anything that you want to acknowledge that maybe that you learned about yourself, any feelings that might have come up, any emotions, anything that you felt in your physical body that you thought, oh, I have a muscle there, or oh, I didn't know that felt that way. Just to reflect on those new experiences. And then we'll finish our practice today sharing one Om. So Om is the sound of the universe. It's the vibration that we feel in our bodies. So we're going to take a breath in through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. Breathe in for one Om. Give yourself gratitude for joining me today. Thank you very much for everyone showing up and practicing. Namaste. May the light and energy in me share the light and positive energy that's within you. Thanks, everyone.